The following thoughts and opinions we're going to discuss regarding this album are strictly of our own personal interests. We are not professional music reviewers. We encourage respectful discussion and friendly banter in each episode, but we do not condone and will not tolerate bullying or belligerence. You are welcome to take what we say regarding the albums we rate with a grain of salt.
Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rate the Record podcast, episode 65.
Woo! It's not as monumental as 64, but 65 nonetheless. Wait, is it? Can I get my AARP card now?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, because I know that once upon a time, 65 was the retirement age, but that's a dream long gone.
Holy shit, is it ever? Holy crap.
Yeah, so your fantasy crushing hosts of the day are Kris and
Savannah.
Yeah, that's right. We're not retiring when we're 65. We're definitely not retiring at episode 65. We can't do that yet. We haven't even made $1 million.
Right, and we haven't even reviewed a Taylor Swift album yet, so one day.
Yeah, as soon as we get a Spotify exclusive contract, we'll do Taylor Swift, and then we'll be done forever. That'll be it.
That'll be the last one, last hurrah.
But until then, we got a lot more albums and a lot more music to cover. So, hey, welcome to the show. Thank you for hanging out with us today and being part of, helping us build our musical community that that we're always trying to build. We've been doing it since the beginning, still doing it now, and probably still going to do it in the future, even when we get that Spotify exclusive contract. Or at least I'd like to think so.
And watch out, Joe Rogan.
So if you want to help support the show and get us to that $1 million contract, I don't know how many more times I'm going to say that. Probably not many. Anyways, if you want to support the show regardless, there's many free ways of doing it. Like, subscribe, rate, share, comment, follow, all of those things. Free to do, easy to do, and you can do it literally right now. And it won't cost you a thing except maybe 1 or 2 seconds of your time. I know time's precious, but 2 seconds. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
It takes you longer. I was going to say it takes you longer to pour a cup of coffee. So, I mean, come on.
You know what? That's actually true. And instead of that coffee, you should subscribe and rate and go to kofi.com/ratetherecord.
Cool. You're not even letting me do my thing anymore. You're just taking over. Go ahead. Do the rest. I'll wait. Savannah's doing hosting duties now.
You could donate any monetary value you wish. No obligation. These shows are still going to be free. You could join the RTR Club, where you get
how much does that cost?
Of I think $5 if I've been listening to you appropriately.
Okay, I'll look at it.
And
what do you get? What was it, incentives?
Sometimes we'll do EP reviews. If you have a album or song or anything that you'd like us to review, we will. And we will release sort of behind the scenes things like our bullshit banter before and after our shows.
You forgot a couple of things.
Probably. I was anticipating having to do the whole thing.
But you're the one who decided to jump in with the Kofi, the splash there. I was going to get into that because, yes, as she kind of mentioned there, all of that at kofi.com/ratetherecord. There are You can join the RTR Club, $5 a month. You can also just do one-off if you want to. That's fine. And as she said, we will review a song if you want to. We'll give you a shout out and put your name at the title card or whatever like that. We do have our behind-the-scenes content. We have pre-show stuff now, but we're also trying to figure out what to do with that pre-show. So by all means, if you join the RTR Club, you can actually help us out and tell us what you want to see because we honestly don't know what to do.
Yeah, and if you want us to shut up, we will.
Yeah, if you want a 10-minute pre-show video of us just staring at the screen doing nothing, like checking email or something like that, then by all means, we'll do it. As long as you're paying. But hey, guess what? All of that stuff, because you can like, comment, share, blah, 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 whatever, stuff like that. Listen to wherever you want. YouTube, audio, social media, all that found at ratetherecord.ca. The Ko-fi link is also at ratetherecord.ca, so you can check that out. But guess what? There's a couple more things on ratetherecord.ca as well. There is the album request link, which is also found down in the description below, but wherever it's convenient for you to check it out. You want to hear an album, you got an idea for something, by all means, please send in your request. We could definitely look into it. We just did one last week for Sloane's Twice Removed, so you can go check out that episode if you haven't. And we got more requests coming too, so make sure you're getting into that lineup. And speaking of albums, we also do album giveaways. And guess what? By the time this episode releases in February, we just gave away Radiohead's OK Computer. Congratulations to Thomas, who actually ended up winning that album. It's been shipped out, and I'm sure it'll be there in the next handful of days. It takes 7 to 10 days, whatever.
Nice.
He's in the United States, so I mean it's going to take a little bit.
Congratulations, and thank you for entering.
Exactly. And if you've entered the last contest and didn't win, don't worry, because now we're giving away Primus's Sailing the Seas of Cheese. Editor's note, we are not giving away Primus's Sailing the Seas of Cheese. Apparently that vinyl and many other Primus vinyls are very hard to get right now, so instead we're giving away Nirvana's Nevermind for February 2023. Just keep that in mind going forward. Okay, back to the show. For February 2023, so make sure if you want that album, throw your name in there and good luck to you, and we'll draw on the 28th. Remember, February's a shorter month, so you have a few less days to actually enter the contest. As long as we got that out there properly. But yes, all of that found, everything I just mentioned before, and Savannah kind of mentioned too. RateTheRecord.ca, yeah, go check it out, yay.
I'm doing my best.
So usually I'm the host of the show and I get up through all that. And I mean, if you've been here before, you already know that. So if you've been here before, welcome back to the show. Always glad to have familiar faces and everything like that, familiar ears, eyes, whatever you're using to absorb this episode with. Thank you for coming back. I've always appreciated it. 65 episodes later and you're still here. But if you're new to the show, then you probably don't know that Savannah doesn't do the hosting stuff because I'm clearly better at it. So hello, welcome to the show. We hope you enjoy your stay. And yeah, she looks all baffled because that's her gimmick now. Anyways, yes. So you probably don't know what we do on the show here, so let me just run it down for you real quick. Each week, Savannah and I will choose an album, be completely at random, like today's choice is mine, so we will get into that in a moment. Or sometimes an album celebrating an anniversary, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 years, it doesn't really matter, we will take a look at it. And as mentioned, we do request albums as well. You could have your album on the show, so again, check out that link. Regardless, we will discuss an album from front to back, we'll rank the songs, and then we rate the record.
We will rate the record.
Boom,
like the name of the show, Rate the Record.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
See, you're good for something.
I felt, well, I'd like to think that I'm the looks and you're the TBD, to be determined.
That's fine, because that means I have enough time to build up whatever the hell I need to be.
Oh shit, I have to uphold my looks. All right, I really pigeonholed myself there. Crap.
Yeah, and the weirdest part is you're not starting today. Anyways, it's episode 65.
I walked right into that one.
Right into that fucking brick wall.
Oh my god. Okay, I am like 10% offended, 90% impressed. So, okay.
Oh, the fact that I had to. Like, it came up out of nowhere. It's like, I gotta use this.
All right, let's just move on. Let's just start the damn show.
Let's do it. It's episode 65, and as I said, I chose the album today. Today, we are checking out, I think, the first hip-hop album we've checked out since, I don't even remember when at this point, the Beastie Boys? No, Saul Williams.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's been nearly a year. Holy shit. Episode 65, We're looking at Death Grips and their debut studio album, The Money Store. Yes, they had an album before this, but it was like a mixtape. It wasn't a studio album, so this is their debut studio album. So there's a good chance that a lot of people out there, I mean, if you're here specifically because you saw Death Grips in the title, chances are you already know all about them and everything they do, but there's also people who don't know and they're just curious, so let me tell you a little bit about them. So, Death Grips is an experimental hip-hop band out of Sacramento, California. They formed in 2010 and consist of vocalist Stephen Burnett, also known as MC Ride, Andy Morin on keys and samples, and Zach Hill on drums and percussion. And they're all technically producers too, so they just kind of all have a hand in that. The band's been known to incorporate many different styles into their sound and albums across the last decade, including industrial, punk, electronic, noise, and more. People more commonly refer to their style as industrial hip hop. I've also done that too, and you can definitely hear it in their sound too. So that's kind of why it just makes sense. But it's just hard to pin down one proper title for their sound. The band is notorious for being very cryptic and spontaneous with both social media and music releases. So you really only know if something releases by watching their social media or keeping an eye out on the fan base, because there are some people who can just like decrypt it very easily. But if you ask me to, I wouldn't know until like it came out 10 days ago.
Oh, geez. That sucks for people who miss it.
Yeah, because of the fan base, like it's hard to miss sometimes.
Yeah, fair.
Especially if you watch like Anthony Fantano, he's on top of it. They initially released their first mixtape, Ex-Military, as previously mentioned, back in 2011, followed by their debut studio album a year later after signing with Epic Records in February 2012, which is today's pick, The Money Store. They were originally signed and dropped by Epic Records in the same year because they leaked their second studio album, No Love Deep Web, which violated their contract.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, they just purposely did it because they leaked it due to the label not confirming a release date before the end of 2013, or before 2013, I should say. So they just said, fuck it, here it is. And Label didn't like that.
Yeah, they probably took their fan base with them. So, I mean, the label really lost. Yes. Yeah. Dang.
They only exploded from there. And although it's not today's album, I just want to say fun fact. If anyone's seen the album cover of No Love Deep Web, yes, it is just literally a picture of Zach Hill's erect penis.
Sweet.
There's a censored version with a black bar and the pixelated version, but there's the uncensored one where if you look at his penis, it says No Love Deep Web written in marker on it. Good times. I just wanted to bring that up because I think it's funny. When I found that out, I was like, okay, then.
Sweet.
Glad you like it. Alrighty then. So, Death Grips has received wide critical and fan acclaim and praise for their forward-thinking and unorthodox style of hip-hop writing and production. With that said, we look at their debut albums, The Money Store. It's the band's debut solo album, as I just said. It was released on April 24th, 2012, but was leaked 10 days prior and sold by the band at Coachella performance on April 20th. So, again, they don't give a shit about record label release dates. It's just like, fuck it, here it is. As I said, they just drop it out of nowhere.
Just a way to get their shit made.
And this album was actually announced alongside their second album, No Love Deep Web, which released later on in 2012, or leak later on in 2012.
Yeah.
It was released through Epic Records, quote unquote, and produced by the band themselves. The album received a lot of positive attention by critics. All Music, our good friends over there, gave it a solid 5 out of 5. They love this album. It sits with an 81 on Metacritic. MSN Music gave it an A-, so there you go with the lettering tier. That's close to our hearts right there. Mojo and Q both gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Pitchfork gave it an 8.7 out of 10, and many more. Many publications, including All Music, BBC Music, Consequence of Sound, Metacritic, Pitchfork, and Spin, and many more than that, all charted the album on their Best Albums of 2012 list, where The Skinny, being one of those publications, placed it as their number 1. The album found its way onto 5 different US charts, including number 3 on the Heat Seekers chart, number 14 on the rap charts, and number 24 on the alternative album chart, so it really just kind of crossed boundaries there. The album has 5 singles altogether: Blackjack, Get Got, The Fever, I've Seen Footage, Hustle Bones, and Double Helix. 3, 4, 5, 6 singles. My bad.
Sounds like 6.
I learned to count, but I forgot to count a long time
It's almost
ago.
half the record are singles.
I think we've dealt with albums like this before.
Yeah.
I can't remember which ones, but some of them definitely had like the majority of the album was just singles.
Yeah.
Alrighty then, with all of that out of the way, I guess it's time to just actually jump in and talk about this damn thing. So let's do it. We'll start with song number 1, Get Got. Got. I'm so curious to know what you think about this album. I'm so fucking...
should I wait to the very end, or should I just straight up say how I felt about the whole thing now?
No, later. Because I will tell everyone real quick. I told Savannah last week when we were like... after we finished recording the Sloan episode, this album I didn't think was going to be middle of the road for you. You're either going to love it for how weird and different it is, or you're going to hate it for how weird and different it is. And now I finally get to find out. And I don't know, by your body language alone, I'm kind of getting some ideas.
Sorry, am I sitting up and farther away from the camera than I normally do? Because I definitely feel like it. So I'm starting to think that if I have to let like a song or an album grow on me, that perhaps maybe I just don't like it. So that was my first thought when listening to this. Although every subsequent listen, just naturally, I think because it is so chaotic, and I'm definitely going to use that word again. I didn't know what to expect, but you know, when you kind of like when you walk or drive the same route, you kind of see these landmarks and the drive doesn't seem nearly as long. That's kind of how I felt listening to this, where I kind of knew what to expect because I was listening to it a couple of times. So it wasn't too bad. Still not my favorite thing. And I felt like there were some parts where the vocals don't match up with the music, and it felt like the vocal track was recorded for like a completely different song, and that they just sort of pieced it together. And that's where I feel the chaos comes in.
It could be because they really took an unorthodox approach to the production, as mentioned earlier in the description, everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like a really weird album to have to start into. Like I've listened to Death Grips for a little while, and like I think Money Store is among one of my favorite Death Grip albums. So I mean that tells you at least how much I think about it. Also, I chose the damn thing. For this song though, like It's not that I don't like it. It's just like I've never really truly gotten into it, but like I do really like the hook to open up the track though, because it's like it's just the way it's worded and the flow of it kind of like makes it a bit of an earworm. So I think that's like really interesting the way that's done. And I like how certain parts of the track feel faster than others, despite it kind of like all having the same tempo. It gives it like different energy as it progresses. So like I don't know, there's already like a lot to take in from this like first track alone.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And maybe the sort of illusion of the music speeding up, it might kind of knock it out of time with the vocals. So that might be why it kind of seems a little odd and shaky to me. Although there are a couple more tracks coming up that it kind of feels the same, where one's in one time signature, one's in another, and it's all kind of all over.
I would, yeah, oh my God, your camera.
And
you're going blurry. Oh my God, I'm losing you.
Yeah, I have
Audio
not changed this thing.
I think Savannah's webcam is a huge Death Grips fan and is like absolutely just hating you already.
Raving. It is raving.
Yeah, severe flashing lights. It just went super blurry for a minute there.
That's okay. I just won't talk with my hands in camera. So, but anyways, sorry. Continue on, please.
Oh, I just want to make sure you were done like with your notes and everything too.
I don't really have too much aside from. I know that I've said this in other sort of like albums, that I don't really know how to describe the sounds I hear, because I can't go, oh yeah, that bloop sounded great. That bleep right there really fit in. So it's kind of a little more difficult, because when bands or genres like this imitate other instruments with other instruments, I have no idea what the hell I'm actually listening to. But that's pretty it. I'm still unsure what to think about this week's choice.
Well, and also,
a
lot of the songs are like, most of them are like less than 3 minutes. So I mean, like, you kind of like get in and out pretty quickly with most things. Like this is a 41-minute album that doesn't feel 41 minutes long. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the longest song is like the last one, Hacker. It's like four and a half minutes or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looping back for a minute when you're talking about like the tempo and everything like that, and just like the singing, the rapping on top of it. I would be willing, I don't know this for certain, but I'd be willing to believe that at least when MC Ride is like, when Ride's doing his vocals, maybe I can only imagine he's probably not using a click track. He might not even be doing multiple takes. Like he's like, you can hear dual vocals because he's like doing 2 different takes just to layer them on top of each other. But I don't think he does multiple takes to try to get the best one. And again, I don't think he's using a click track either. So like whatever beat he hears in his headphones is the one he's going to. So maybe that's why it sounds slightly off.
Okay.
But I do like that kind of like raw style of it though. And because it's consistent in the album, it's not one of those things like, oh, they made a mistake in this song and everything else sounds great. It's like, no, they like, this is clearly on purpose. And so I kind of appreciate that.
You definitely hit the nail on the head. It is consistent through the album.
It is.
It really is.
See, when I choose albums, sometimes I get an idea for how you'll feel about them. But when I choose ones like this, I'm just like, this is going to be nuts. I can't wait to know you're right. It's like this happened back in like when we did Daughters in episode 2. Like I didn't know like what kind of music you were into completely at that time and everything like that. So like I was like, this is going to be a really chaotic album. I'm very curious to know what you're going to think about it.
That's definitely one that I'd like to redux, because I think I'd have a more of an appreciation for it after all of the things that I've got to listen to from then to now. So, or in the interim rather.
I mean, if you really want to do that, then we can talk about it. That's not an entire episode. That's just like a few minutes of you talking about why you would want to change your score.
Yeah.
All I really have to say about the song, other than what I've already said, I do like the choppy staccato sequences that kind of like pop up periodically in the track. I think it's like a great texture to throw into the mix, so it kind of gives you a little more. Realistically, I don't know if this was the best opener though, but it's still like very energetic and bouncy. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my feelings on this one.
I don't have any other feelings, period.
Excellent. No one cared anyway. Number 2, The Fever AA in parentheses. That's twice now. I've just like really swung for the.
I'm sorry that I took over your hosting duties. It was my bad to think that maybe I could do something. Shit.
Well, you did it without consent. You could have asked beforehand. I could have been like, okay, let's see what you do.
And I also did it terribly. Sorry.
Okay, next week you're taking on full hosting duties, like absolutely the whole episode.
That's really funny that that's not happening. So I know that I've mentioned this before in other reviews, but a production choice that I really like is when a song sounds kind of like, I don't know, AM radio analogy, and then as it sort of progresses, it becomes much more clear and more digital sounding. It's like something going from black and white to color. I don't care if I hate the album, hate the song, hate the artist. That production choice will always please me. It just sounds really nice. I like that. So this track starting that way was nice and got my attention. And it unfortunately didn't feel like the song really changed at all in 3 minutes. Like maybe the vocals and the lyrics may sort of change the song, but just having that sort of moderately steady beat under everything, it didn't change enough for me to really notice. It might be like little things, but the grand scheme to me, it just kind of felt a little plain. I don't know. I don't want to say plain because like they got a lot going on, but just sort of, I don't know. Flat.
No, I think I know what you're getting at, but at the same time, like I do disagree though, because like I get it doesn't give you like tons at once or anything like that to like kind of like change things up, but you can definitely tell when like things are kind of turning a little bit. Like even when you start with the intro, like you have this like build up and that just kind of goes really hard, and I love it. I think that sounds great. There's like all these like very industrial sounds that kind of work up the atmosphere of the entire track, so that's a lot of fun. And like it's interesting how it's essentially built on like a kick snare kind of groove, and it's just kind of good at getting the energy started. It's pretty simple, but then you have like the drum and bass style drumming that kind of comes in during the verses, which I really like. I thought that was an excellent touch. Like it really kind of like, because it didn't like the drums themselves kind of like lack a bassy tone, it still added intensity, but it wasn't like just completely punishing in the ears. So I really like that. And I mean, Ride really brings the intensity with his vocals in this one, so I'm finding things that I like about this pretty early on.
I heard, I don't know what this was, but I described it as crystal keys / synths in the background. I don't know where it is, what the hell it is. I'm sure if you listen to the song, you'll know what I mean. That sounded nice. They weren't there for a prolonged period, but their appearance was like frequent enough. Like they'd have a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit there. And that sounded good. I like that. It kind of added a little bit of, oh, what's that? Instead of just the sort of booming drums that are harassing and violating my ears.
Maybe it's like the chorus and everything, because like that's when these like weird kind of wavering synths kind of come in and everything like that.
Maybe that's it. I like it. Sounds good.
I said it reminded me of Tobacco, and as a reminder, that was one of the artists who was part of Malibu Ken. We did in episode 4. It was Tobacco and A$AP Rock. Tobacco's production style, that's just exactly what it reminded me of. Not that it was, but just the style of instrumentals really kind of got me there. And I like Tobacco, so I like that. So that got on. It does feel strange, though, I will say, in contrast to the verse. Like, not that it sounds bad, but it's like it feels like 2 different tracks at that point. And so, like, as you were kind of saying earlier, you didn't really know where the difference was. I mean, like, there's a big difference there. So I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes it be like when I start listening to an album, I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? It like gets maybe 4 or 5 tracks in before I become at least cognizant of, oh, this is what they're going for. Because like first couple tracks, I'm like, this just sounds like noise. And I'd listen to the track over and over, and I'm like, yeah, this just sounds like noise. Like,
but maybe you want to Redux Daughters.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know. I can't. It's like liking the color green, but only liking specific shades of green. Sure, they're all under the green umbrella, but like if you add just a little bit more blue, that's a perfect shade of green. Take a little blue away, looks like shit.
I like the vast majority of purple, so I don't know. I can't relate.
See, purple only looks good when it barely has any red in it.
Mm-hmm. So I like the vast majority of purple, as I said.
Yeah,
I don't know what colors are called. I just like when I see things.
Yeah, and I know what I like, and it wasn't that.
Well then, speaking of things I don't like the movie Lost Boys. I legitimately don't, but that's a great transition to the next song. Song number 3, Lost Boys. I think Lost Boys is actually garbage. The movie is. I don't get the appeal of it. That's my mini rant.
Never seen it. When I saw the song title, I thought of Duran Duran's Wild Boys. Don't like that song very much. Also, I thought they were singing Fuck Boys. So
Fuck Boys. Fuck Boys.
Yeah.
Fuck boys.
It wasn't until maybe the 4th round I was like, oh, they're singing the song title, you
yes,
moron.
The actual title. Imagine that. Weird.
I didn't piece it together. Yeah, it's all kind of feeling like spoken word poetry at an EDM festival on a side stage between sets on the main stage. That's really what this was giving me. And my brain just cannot comprehend this. It sounds just erratic.
That's kind of the point, though. It's supposed to be like a big chaotic mess because
it was.
Because again, you're implementing all these styles and you're going really hard on all of them. So I mean, like, there's no gently introducing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my favorite Death Grip song is on an album called The Bottomless Pit. And it's called "Giving Bad People Good Ideas," and it's like blast beat the song. It's like super fast, chaotic, like blast beat punk music. That's all it is, and it's.
Yeah, I'd probably listen to that.
Oh, and it catches you off guard. Like you hear these like soft vocals in the beginning, and then just fucking if you run headphones, you might actually jump.
Interesting.
And then it doesn't stop from there. It's just berserk from there.
Scary.
But back to Lost Boys because we are talking about the money store. I think this has like an excellent like hard halftime beat in this track. I fucking love it. It sounds fantastic. I just love how grimy everything feels. That there's like a digital grime across this entire album, and so I really appreciate things like that. I mean, like if anyone's watched this review, not this particular review, but like our show long enough, you'll know I dig that kind of stuff. I dig the weird. Look at my fucking shirt. It's like digital glitch art. That's just me, so I thought it was the best thing I could have worn today. The chorus effect on the drum is actually a really good choice. It really kind of thickens that layer and like gives it more life. So there's like, again, just more to take in this track, especially multiple listens.
Yeah. I literally have nothing else. I did write, like you answered my question in the band introduction, but as I'm listening to this, I wrote, did the band sort of carve out their own genre? Because I can't even say if this sounds like anything I know or anything I know of, because it doesn't feel like it does. Like there's nothing in this where I'm like, oh, this little bit sounds like this. Just none of it sounds like something that I'm familiar with or have heard.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's that they necessarily intentionally like looked to create their own genre or anything of this like that kind of like style. I think they just kind of went hard on whatever the fuck they wanted to do, and they rolled with it, and that was it. Here's these really fucking weird beats. Now you can like scream rap over them. Okay, here we go.
That's why it just kind of reminds me of like just like poetry, angry poetry.
I could dig it, and especially because again, like people call this industrial hip hop. I like industrial music. I like hip hop. You combine those two, and this is like that weird bastard child right in the middle. Like I love it. And actually, it's funny because this note could be said for a lot of tracks on this album, but I said I like how this track has what feels like a harsh psychedelic element in it.
Oh yeah, I may not have caught on to that.
Well, maybe it's because like not necessarily like actual like psychedelic like music or anything like that, but just the way it's all produced and like how the layers fit over top of each other and how it transitions to certain tones and everything like that. That's what kind of gave that to me. It's like this is like if you were on a trip, but it's like this is like the worst possible trip you could be on.
You know what? I think I can agree with that. Yeah.
But I do indeed like this song, though. I mean, Lost Boys is always one of those ones that kind of like caught my attention on this album.
Still just reminds me of the chorus to Wild Boys by Duran Duran, because all I hear is Wild Boys. And that's it. So
Wild Boys, Wild Boys, Wild Boys.
Oh God. Yes.
Ride's flow is really great in this one too. I think he's really good with his flow. I like the way it usually suits like the style of music that's going on. It's like smooth and really adds like a bounciness to the track though. Smooth and just the way he delivers it, but like it's still kind of like there on the beat, so it just kind of adds that bit of bounciness to it. I really like it. And then there's like little things too, there's like little things like the super. I'm just trying to like rearrange my fucking notes. Little things like the super clean, each on the line. What? Wow. What time was it when I wrote that note?
Yeah. I'm drunk for you. Sheesh.
Oh, okay. I don't know why it autocorrected, but it's supposed to say the word echo. I'm just gonna read this verbatim now since I can't like read it off the sheet anymore. Little things like the super clean echo on the "It's such a long way down" refrain. It's actually really pleasing on the ears. It's probably one of the cleanest parts of the track. It doesn't have that digital grime on it, and so when you just, it's such a long way down, 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 and when that word "down" is like echoing, like it's just super clean and just sounds nice, kind of spreads in a little bit in the headphones. So I don't know, I like things like that. Really appreciate it.
You're definitely production focused when you listen to this, because you say these little nuances and everything. I'm like, yeah, didn't hear it. Nope, didn't hear it. No idea what you're talking about. Yep.
To be fair, I've been listening to this album for a few years now, so like I've heard it more than once.
I guess that's true, and not fair. So I think that I should get obligatory 5% added to my score solely for that reason.
What are you going to say about previous albums we've done where I've listened to it forever and you haven't? We can't go back and do those.
No, we're not. We're starting right now.
We are not. Song number 4, Black Jack. Now, it's too bad this song is 2 minutes and 22 seconds, because if it was 21, that would have been perfect.
Oh, ha 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 ha! Yeah. I can actually bob my head to this one. This one's all right. There seems to be a lot of maxed out beats and subtle panning. Not 100% sure what I meant about maxed out beats. Maybe. Oh. You know when you say that when I yell that my microphone like clips, so you don't really get that high bit. It just sort of like cuts you off.
Lines completely. Yeah.
That's kind of what I heard with the beats. It didn't like. I don't know. I didn't hear a peak. It just kind of sounded like it was cut off because it was too loud or it was too something, which I mean, didn't have a problem with. I actually kind of enjoyed that gusto. But the song didn't really like paint me an emotional picture. I can't really describe production wise what I liked or didn't like about it. So I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to feel. And then just
Angry.
because I think I am a funny piece of shit, I put at the very bottom, insert obligatory Simpsons, "Can I borrow a feeling?" That was all. That's literally the song.
Oh, I wonder if they've ever used that as a sample, because Death Grips uses tons of samples per album. Like there's like, there are like wiki pages dedicated to strictly what songs use how many samples.
Really?
Yeah. There are like
Were there
videos.
many in here?
Oh, probably.
Oh.
There are probably some we wouldn't even know are samples, like just literally random stabs of sound could be a sample of something. I mean, like there are videos that break down like every album song by song, like these are the samples that they use, and they play the sample like that's used in the song, and then they play like the original of where it came from, like side by side.
Interesting. I didn't know
it is like actually kind of a fascinating listen.
Cool.
But yeah, just this song is another great, like really hard beat that just kind of brings so much fun and intensity. Because like, yeah, this one uses you can bob your head a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear it in my head right now, so I'm just kind of bobbing on the beat. And just like it's something about like just the constant like kick snare, kick snare, and like then you have like the synth on top of that. So I really like that.
Yeah, that was it. I was just gonna make a joke about you bobbing your head and that you're the one hamster in there is just going back and forth.
Now you see, there's a website you can go to where I do this for money. So,
oh my god, somehow. I'll have to show my feet as well. Huh.
I thought you were gonna say that you're gonna subscribe. I'm gonna be like, finally, somebody.
Oh no! I mean, you got to keep something for the other ladies, right?
Okay, well you can just subscribe, but you don't have to watch. You can just support.
No, come on. Like if I'm gonna subscribe, I'm gonna get my money's worth. Come on now.
You see me once a week at least, so I mean, like you're fine. You're paying to see me on Rate the Record.
This hasn't taken a 90-degree turn. I think it's taken a complete 180, and I would like to leave.
Yeah, do a 360 and walk away.
It's so funny when people say that. They're so stupid.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I want to get onto the name Death Grips for a minute here while we're on that kind of subject. Do you know what Death Grips is, or Death Grip?
Like I know it in just the context of a really heavy grip, but if it alludes to something else, which I think it might, no, I have not heard it in that context before.
Well, to the audio listeners, and I don't know if it'll appear on the screen for the video listeners, but we have our, like, we usually just call ourselves whatever the hell we want in this Zoom chat here. I have Death Grip Syndrome, which is essentially where you masturbate far too much and you have like a very tight grip, and so your penis loses sensation.
Mm-hmm.
And so like your dick is essentially dead because you've death gripped your dick. So that's where the band name comes from. Speaking of like all this sex stuff and OnlyFans and everything.
Good job, guys. Good job. What are you, 12? Good job.
What are you going to do? Tell them off? They're going to kick your ass.
Probably. They'll probably stab
Zach
me.
Hill has his erect penis on an album cover, okay?
Yeah.
So I mean, like
little fucks were given.
Exactly. They don't give a shit. You probably do it again just for a part 2.
Probably.
We haven't finished talking about Blackjack yet, though.
Not at all.
So it's funny because like this song has like tons of like reverse sound effects on like the vocals and everything like that. It can seem like a little disorienting, but I think it gives a lot more depth to the vocal layer, makes it a little more interesting. It approaches the song a little more differently than the other ones have, so I really like it actually.
Cool.
And that's all she's got.
That's all I got. I'm pretty much just spitting it all at the beginning and then just sitting back and letting you tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, at least you know that you're wrong.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is a really quick song.
Take the L on this one.
It's a really quick song, as I said. It's only 2 minutes and 22 seconds, but I think it packs a great punch in that time. So another one of those ones that I think is just an absolute banger.
Mm-hmm. Pun
right,
intended? I don't
know. Are we going back to the OnlyFans thing now?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. You know what? No, we're not.
There you go.
All right.
Song number 5, Hustle Bones. I have no idea what that means.
I just assume that they are grave robbing and selling the bones. And that's their hustle.
But he's got hustle bones in his mouth, though, according to the lyrics.
Oh. Cannibalism.
Cool.
So my note says, first off, I like the programmed vocal sample. That sounds great. Keeps my interest. Cannot recall what it is, but apparently it sounded good. I liked it. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I've already said that. Literally the only part that I enjoyed was the vocal sample. I noticed that it sounds like it's sort of skipping or stuttering, and that was thumbs up. So I like that.
Fun fact about this song, I'm pretty sure most Death Grip fans already know. So that very first sound you hear, like that rising sound,
yeah, sound like a plane was gonna go off.
It's actually from an old Casio keyboard. It's the motorcycle sound effect, and people have actually posted videos
Really?
where they just press the one key. It's like something you buy from Radio Shack, like one of those like $30 keyboards.
That's cool.
You press it, and the exact same sound comes out. So they based this song on the sample of a Casio keyboard motorcycle sound effect.
Oh my God. Okay,
I think
that's kind
hilarious.
of cool. Yeah, I like that.
Shout out to the old school crowd. You know what's up. But yeah, that's just when I found that out. Then I watched all these people like having their minds blown on YouTube.
Like I have that. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
great.
cool.
As per usual, like the other songs, absolute grime all over this track, super dirty, super nasty, and I'm living for it. I love this shit. I just because it's just I don't know. It's without being redundant, I don't know what else to say about it other than just like I like it. It's not clean. I enjoy that shit. Fuck your conformity, people.
Yeah.
Because apparently I'm a snowflake about it. On that note, though, with how clean the chorus actually sounds, I actually tend to chuckle a little as, like, once again, it feels like an entirely different track. But I think this is where you were kind of mentioning, like, the vocal stuff, because I was like, it's a very creative use of sampling, at the very least.
Okay, maybe that is it, yeah.
So I do like it. It's so weird when it's like such a weird contrast between vocal, like verse and chorus. Again, not a bad track. It's just like, damn, what a world of difference.
Wait, was this the one that had like that female vocal sample in it?
That kind of sounded like Alicia Keys going, New York.
Maybe. If that's the one, then that's exactly what I meant. Because I don't recall what song has that. Whatever one it is, if it is this one or one coming up,
It
I
might
do
be
like
Double
that.
Helix. Yeah, it's Double Helix.
Is it?
It's actually in my notes, so yes.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, well then, whatever the sample is, I can't remember off the top of my head now, but I do enjoy it. So there you go. Obviously, I wrote a note about that.
Yeah.
The ending didn't really hit as hard on this one, though most songs end kind of abruptly on this album anyways, which I'm fine with because these aren't the songs that need to be long, drawn-out things and everything like that. You don't need, like, fucking cymbal crashing to end everything. Just whatever. These are aggressive hip-hop tracks. Just drop it when it's done.
Yeah.
It's a good song, but this one I think could have ended a little differently, like maybe a little more noise or something like that just to kind of close it all up. I don't really know how to be 100% honest, but
yeah,
I feel like something else could have been done a little differently. Didn't affect the score, though. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't recall how any of them end aside from fairly abruptly, but I figure the same where it's like if you have sort of this punky. If you have a band that's willing to get dropped from their label because they want people to have their stuff, they're clearly not playing by the rules. They're really bending towards that punk thing, and punk songs don't ring out. They're just like, all right, we're here, goodbye, smash the guitar, and they leave.
This is about as Death Grips is about as punk as I've seen hip hop get. And I could be wrong. There could be bands who do it, like artists who do it like way better, like in the sense of like a punk attitude in hip hop. But even their performances get fucking aggressive and just like, I don't know. I've seen Riley shove people off stage and shit like that and just shove them to the ground. Don't go near that man.
Yes, fuck, hell no.
I've heard him in interviews and like he sounds like a soft spoken guy, but then when he's on the mic, he's like a whole different creature.
Oh yeah, that's the stage me and the real life me, completely different.
Oh, and you should see some of their music videos. They're the most low budget, weirdest fucking music videos you'll ever see.
Really?
I can't remember which one it is. I mean, there's the one that's like a meme, like Guillotine, where he's like literally just in a car with a seatbelt on. It's like a camera in the corner just pointed at him the entire time, and the window's all staticky. That one's weird. One of them was recorded using like the backup cam, like a camera that you put on a car so you can see yourself when you're backing up. He literally recorded it in that entire camera. One of them is literally dismantling a shoe and just like folding it into weird shapes.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And one of them is just MC Ride staring into a camera, like just doing different emotions, and at the end he's just smiling and crying at the same time. Like that's it. It's the whole video.
That is uncomfortable to think of.
It is. Well, I mean, I can say that I've seen that because I've seen footage. So, I mean,
you know what? As soon as
6.
I saw your eyes go over to your notes. Okay, yeah, he's gonna do it. Okay,
I have indeed seen footage, and that's song number 6.
So I'm gonna start this one. My first note, all capital letters. Ha 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 ha! I knew there'd be something for me eventually. All right, I'm down for this one. All right, this one I can jam to. It seems to be more, I don't want to say cohesive, but it just like it makes more sense to me because there's no like jumps in anything. It's just sort of understandable to my monkey brain. Although now I don't recall if this has to be in the chorus. Parts of the music, parts of the actual like instrumental music remind me. Hold up, what the fuck did I just write? Parts of the music.
We're both having those moments.
Remind me of. It's like I don't know how to use commas. Parts of the music remind me of the chorus vocalizations in Eminem's "Just Lose It." That's what I have to say. Because listening, because all I hear is the actual like singing vocals, and then the music sounds like it's going like that Eminem song. So I'm listening to it going. Okay,
I like that song.
I don't care either way, but listening to it, I'm like, this makes me laugh at least. So I was down for that. I can totally jam to this one, and I'm relieved I found something I like. So this track 6 or 7. Very glad that by now I found at least one that I can say, yeah, I will listen to this again.
I don't think this is the one that I would have pointed out then.
Really?
No.
Oh, I heard as soon as I heard the beginning, I was like, down for it.
I did mention though that it's easily one of the more user-friendly tracks on the entire album.
Oh, totally.
And I mean, this one was a single as well, so you could definitely see that.
Yeah.
This one has like a very old school feel to it. This feels like, in a weird way, it kind of feels like 90s hip hop.
Maybe that's why I like it.
As a matter of fact, at some points, I just started randomly saying it's like singing "Push It" by Salt and Peppa. Because it was like the same kind of like style of beat that I was thinking of, and I was like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
Or even "It's Tricky," like that song too. Although that's 80s, though. Still,
yeah, I like that.
I was never really big on the lead riff of this song, kind of going through. Just like it's definitely catchy, though, obviously. But I don't know. I've never really been big on the tone of it. But as repetitive the hook is, it just isn't as catchy as the previous tracks, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Even if it reminds you of a catchy Eminem song. So
just that one part.
I don't know. This song has never really grabbed me too much, like amongst the catalog, like not even just this album, but just the catalog altogether. It's not a bad song per se, but just, I don't know how often I would choose to listen to this one.
All of the time.
Well, that's where we differ. And I guess our lists are going to be like this again.
Oh, completely opposite. Yeah.
I have at least 2 question marks so far, but all the rest are X's.
You know what? Having 2 question marks, I feel like your optimism is inspiring.
No, it's more like infectious, like a disease. So please don't catch it. Because every time we do, we get highly disappointed.
This is true. This is true.
I don't really have much else to say for it because there just wasn't tons to grab me about that song, and as I said, the hook wasn't as catchy to me. So like I don't know, there's just not a lot for me to comment on.
I only have just 2 more. I did like the guitar behind the chorus. It is very fitting and everything sounds tight. And I hope there are more songs coming up that are like this, but I do remain skeptical.
Well, at least you have hindsight now, so you know whether or not that note was correct.
Yeah, and it's always when I go back and I read them, it's just like part of me is like, oh, how disappointed you will be, or oh, you will be pleasantly surprised.
Well, only time will tell because we passed the halfway point and it's time to move on. Song number 7, Double Helix. Double Helix.
Okay, so if this is the song that has that female vocal sample, I didn't specify in the song, unfortunately, but I do have two lines, and that's it for the song, unfortunately. Okay. I did not like this. It's like a meal of unrelated and contrasting foods. All I was thinking was like, it's like eating French fries and French toast. I'm like, I like them both, but together, not so much. So this song didn't do it for me.
So you can't eat French toast and hash browns? Jesus.
What do you mean French fries and French toast? Gross. French fries and hash browns are delicious.
No, I meant French toast and hash browns. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
You gotta eat, but like, there's potatoes that are fine with French toast. Don't worry about that.
No, well, French toast is gross. But anyways,
they're gross.
Yeah, but when you make French toast and you let it sit in the milk and egg too long, then the middle of the bread gets soggy.
You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, but everyone that makes French toast, it's always so soggy. When I do it even worse than that because I don't eat it often, so I don't know how to make it.
Mine's good and slightly crispy. I know because I know how to do it properly.
All right, well, make me French toast for fuck's sake. Come on now.
Get out of my house.
Okay, what did you think about the damn song?
Okay, so yeah, there's like a really buzzy bass on the beat that actually kind of makes the song feel really menacing, which is good for the most part. Because Ride's a little tamer on this track, so there's still something bringing that intensity, and I really like that. I'm pretty back and forth on that sample being used throughout the entire track. It's nice to give more texture to the sound, but like it's really kind of abrasive on everything else, so it doesn't really sit too comfortably in the mix. So I'm always kind of weird when I hear it, especially because it happens so frequently. So I'm just like, if a couple times maybe, but it's like the entire song keeps coming back. So I don't know, a little strange. But yeah, I do, as kind of alluding to, Ride's a little tamer on this one. I do like his lower tone vocals. This sounds like his like middle of the road comfortable range, and I actually think it really works well here. So I mean, it's good to kind of see that on display because we don't get a lot of that on the album. There are certain songs when he's like a little tamer, but like more often than not, he's just yelling. So
oh my god. So yeah, I don't think I made note of which specific tracks they are. But wait, maybe I did. I don't know, maybe I did, but there was one that I noticed that his vocals were different because the rest of them they're just abrasive. And in one track, I was like, oh, this sounds like really good. Like he has not potential because that sounds like super condescending, but
because you're the best singer.
But it's like there has potential to be what I want to hear. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. But I think maybe it was in the one of the 2 last tracks. I'm like, oh no, the album's over now. God damn it.
It might be the song Hacker, the last song, only because that song sounds like it could be an older song that just made it to this album because like he does sound slightly different in that one. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't really know the production schedule for this album, so I don't know where that was made in that time frame.
But it is nice to know that the ability is there.
Supposing so. All right, so we'll move on then, I guess, to song number 8, System Blower.
Okay, just speaking of the vocals, my very first line, I am growing tired of the vocals. I think it was just the gritty, yelling, aggressive. It was being a little too much. Uh, I was being a smart ass. My second note just when they did the thing, that was okay. But when they did that other thing, that wasn't as nice. Because I don't know how to describe what it is that I'm listening to. The song felt tediously long to me. I think I've been blessed with these sort of, I don't want to say long, but just longer instrumental intros to the song. So then the actual bulk of the song seems a lot shorter than the timestamp shows. But this one actually felt to me almost 4 minutes long. I think you may have found something that I can guarantee I won't listen to again, with exception of I've seen footage up until this point. Because I remember you saying last week, like, oh, maybe you won't like it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay,
there's no middle of the road. It's either one or the other.
Like you've said this before and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe you like this. And then I go into this now going, I'm going to disappoint him. I'm going to disappoint him so badly.
I'm not worried about being disappointed. I'm just curious to know the reaction overall. My heart will not break if you tank this album.
Oh my God.
You'll be killed by the Death Grips fans.
Yeah.
Maybe even Ride himself, maybe even Zach Hill. I mean, that's about it.
To be quite honest though, do you want me as a fan anyways? The answer is probably no. And you know what? That's okay. That is something I can compromise with you. So it's fine. Just don't come at me and I will never listen to this again.
I'm so curious to know what your score is going to be.
42.
I also think that maybe the song was so long, the ending did stretch a little bit, but it didn't necessarily affect the score though, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, overall, there was just like a lot of different types of like intensity in the track. There was a lot to take in overall. There's like a lot of different like moods and feelings in this one, kind of based around the same thing though, so that's fine. I thought there was a great drop from the intro, like build up of the track. The slow beats like greatly matched with what sounds like this like low distorted electric piano. I thought it was a very fun beat. I really like it. As a matter of fact, like System Blower, when I first heard this album, was the one that really caught my attention. Like I don't know, there was something about that I just liked a lot, and it might be because of the verses and just like that dan 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 of the piano. Like I really like it. Mm-hmm. I like the noisy transition points as well. It kind of gives you something different to take in since the beat is like a little more minimal in this track, not including the random noises interjected throughout the entire verse. But I mean, like, I don't know, the noisy portions in between are definitely something that will catch your attention and let you know it's like, okay, that portion's done, let's move on now. So I don't know, this one kind of moves you in many different directions. So I guess the length of the song is kind of okay in that regard, but yes, it did stretch a bit.
Yeah, I literally have nothing else other than good job on your review, Kris. Proud of you.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. Nice.
It's like if you're pushing me and I was like riding a two-wheel bike for the first time, and then I'm just like, you can let go, and the second you do, I'm just like, don't let go.
Let me go, and then you just fall off to your side. You're still pedaling on the ground.
See, I imagine like the second you let go, my bike falls over and then I just explode. And the bike bursts into flames.
And all that is left, like your remains are gone, but it's just the charred area on the ground, and that's it. Seems like
it's like one of those weird Hiroshima shadows.
Oh, what's that? Like I know what Hiroshima is, but I don't know what that reference is.
Because their silhouettes were burnt into the ground because of how bright the bomb was. So if you go through Hiroshima today, you just see these shadows of ghosts on the pavement everywhere.
Oh, that's
where that person was when the bomb went off. So like they're very kind of like eerie, scary things to look at.
Oh my God, even just thinking about it, I'm like, oh, that is too, because I would just automatically think that there is an apparition standing there
that's what it looks like. It honestly looks like that. You can Google pictures. It's the fucking weirdest thing to look at.
Shit, I've never heard of that before. Oy, gross.
All right, well, we'll move on then to song number 9, The Cage.
I like the main synthy riff. That was cool, enjoyable. There are some noises that sound like they're pinging back and forth from left to right. They're not quick. They're sort of slow and very, very low key. Kind of felt like a game of Pong. That was enjoyable. I enjoyed that. Well, I guess that's what enjoyable means. I do like, and this is fairly universal, that I do like when the music, like the song goes on, the music is stopped for a beat or two, and then it picks up like nothing happened. I really enjoy that regardless of who it is that I'm listening to. I think that's cool. But yeah, I found that this song sounds very 2012. I don't know if that was the whole like, drum and bass and Skrillexy thing and the rave scene and all that sort of influenced.
Oh, and like dubstep kind of started dropping.
Yeah, that's it, dubstep. And it parts of this song really place it where it's from. So I didn't really get that the rest of the album other than Right Now, which, I mean, a couple songs from the end only.
Which is interesting because this song reminded me a lot of Lost Boys, actually. Yeah. Like there's just certain parts of the verses that kind of like were structured similarly, and like even the synth kind of sounded a little similar to it, which isn't a bad thing because I like Lost Boys, but just like this is the first time I listened to a song on this album and it felt like another song. Mm-hmm. Rather than like its own thing, whereas most songs have just kind of felt like their own thing so far. Again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I didn't detract score from that, but it was worth noting at the very least. I thought there was like a lot of interesting layers being used in the beginning, especially on the percussive side of things. Like you have these like very light percussive noises that almost feel like they add to the melody a little bit. So I thought that was like a little bit of a creative touch. I really enjoyed that. It was only in certain parts too. It wasn't all the way through, but when it happened, like I immediately noticed and started enjoying it. Just something again pleasing about those smaller things. Yeah, as I said, it kind of feels like Lost Boys, and just like I think the only thing I had a problem with was the song was like the higher tone synth that kind of becomes a little grating sometimes.
Is that the one that I said that I liked at the beginning?
Is that how opposite we are about these things?
I think so.
I like noisy aggression. I like the synth.
If it was the synth that comes in like within 5 seconds of the song starting that really make up the sort of bass riff, then yeah. No,
this is like a higher toned one, so it would. Okay. I don't think it. Like I think it comes in like a little later.
Oh, okay, good.
I mean, yeah, I'm not huge on it. Can get grading, but I can usually deal with it. So it was just worth noting, but I don't know if it affected the score at all. I don't know.
Yeah,
hard to say. All right, we're nearing the end. We're getting there. We're into double digits now. Number 10, Punk Weight.
I do just want to say I did. This isn't song specific at all, but I do want to commend fans of this for having very eclectic tastes. Because the more that I'm listening to this whole album,
don't toot their horns; they'll take it personally.
Oh, that's fine. The more I'm listening to it, the more I'm like, I'd like to think I have eclectic tastes, but like within. Like if you had a basket full of like Christmas baubles, like they'd be all different colors because I listen to a lot of different things. But I feel like people who gravitate towards listening to this, all of their baubles, not only are they different colors, they have little baubles inside those big ones that are all different colors. And I'm like, I'm just going to stick with, just these big ones because as you go deeper and deeper, you're adding more genres, you're experimenting more. And I'm like, that is just something that I've not caught on to yet. I'm sure I can. I'm sure I could learn to enjoy it. But as of right now, the people who listen to this or fans, fuck yeah.
Just when you mentioned the bulbs, I just keep thinking of like a Russian nesting bulb. So it looks like one, but as soon as you hang out on the tree, it just kind of opens up like this. And there's just another one just hanging there.
I've never seen that. That sounds
really I don't think those exist, but that's just what I thought of when you because you're like there's bulbs inside bulbs, and so I just thought of like a Russian nesting bulb.
Fuck, that'd be cool though.
It might be.
Gotta make that.
So this song kind of started with a like a sped up sample, and it kind of reminded me of like a hyperpop track, which I'm not too big on hyperpop, so that it kind of concerned me a little bit when it started. I mean, hyperpop's a weird fucking genre. Please don't ever request a hyperpop album.
I don't know what it is.
I mean, the best example off the top of my head, like, do you know who like 100 Gex is?
No.
Good.
I know who Hootie and the Blowfish are. That's it.
That's very far from 100 Gex. It's an interesting. The song has a very interesting use of like noisy percussion on this track, like super fucking noisy. Like this song feels like static, like just from like the really insanely distorted bass drum alone. It's like this song would shock me if I could physically touch it.
So the beginning of this sounds like I like bumped the radio dial because 30 seconds of interest. I was like, oh, I'm okay. Where's this going?
Oh God, you're like hyperpop.
And then it kind of wanes slowly, slow enough. Yeah, like I don't know. I I don't even know what to say about this song. I barely have any notes for it. The notes that I did write make no fucking sense whatsoever because clearly I was drunk when I wrote them. But my other notes just say, I don't know what to think about this. There's so many songs left on this album.
There's like 3.
My rating is solely for the beginning 30 seconds that I liked.
My God. Oh, this could be so interesting getting to the score. Oh my God.
Woo-hoo.
So I already feel like I know where you are on this album anyway. So that's fine. That's good. Yeah,
like that's fine. Tears running down.
Oh no, there's other albums I'd be much more heartbroken. I'm fine if you don't like this one. This is one of the ones I knew it's like it's 50-50. You're gonna love it or hate it. So
fair.
I was anticipating either or.
Excellent.
There's not much that grabs me about this particular song. Nothing stands out that's too catchy or memorable. So I mean, like I couldn't even really bring too much more up to tell you about anyway. So that kind of shows you where I am on it. Again, not necessarily bad, but just like nothing about it brings me back to it.
Fair enough. I can definitely relate. Maybe not as much to this song, but definitely can relate to that.
Fair enough. So I guess we'll just move on because apparently there's so many fucking tracks left.
Yeah, and I said, fuck that.
Song number 11.
Yeah, I had to get in there somewhere.
Don't want a single say fuck that. Fuck that.
You know what? When I was younger, I was like, I don't like Korn because like, new metal to me.
I just muted Savannah. We don't need to talk about that garbage ass song.
What? Across the screen is you have been muted. I'm like, I swear to God, you just knocked your camera over.
That's fine.
Anyways, we're just going to talk about this.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about the bullshit Korn song.
Whatever. I actually like that one. Anyways, this song, fuck that. I like the use of acoustic drums. They could have used them earlier, but I heard them here and I very much enjoyed it. I was jamming to it, but I lost the beat so many times. Usually I can get back on it and keep going, but as I was following different instruments, I had no idea where to jump in again. Hence the chaos. But yeah, I don't want to say it was boring because it wasn't, but like, I don't know how to describe this song. It didn't like hype me up, but it didn't put me to sleep. It was just sort of okay. But the acoustic drums in there got my attention.
Like the hand drums and everything like that.
Oh yeah,
definitely a different beat on this one as compared to what we've had so far. I mean, like it still has touches of like the death grip stuff, but like the hand drums kind of catch you off guard.
Yeah.
Cool, just very unexpected, but that's fine. I mean, on this album, could you really be expecting or not expecting something at this point? I mean, like,
literally something will pop up and you're like, typical.
They could literally just like make a drum sample of throwing rocks at cars and like that would just be the song. So I mean, like I wouldn't be surprised to be like, well, that's typical.
Yeah, exactly.
The layering of sounds and samples are like all over the mix on this one. I think this song has one of the more playful productions on the entire album. There's just like a lot going on, but it's not really overwhelming though, as other songs can be. So like this one was just a lot of fun to kind of go along with. I like how this can like still manage to feel like menacing, even though the production felt a little more minimal on it at the same time. Minimal because like I know I just said like the mix is kind of everywhere, but at the same time like it feels a little hollow, I guess. Maybe it's because like there's not tons of bass in there or anything like that, but I don't know. I think it still works for what it is. I think the bass would have like put it over the top a little, so I think it was kind of a good choice of what they left it with. I really liked it. But overall, yeah, the song's like pretty short. Cool little idea to play with this late onto the album. So, hey, why not try it out? And I mean, it's only 2 minutes and 25 seconds. So why not?
Exactly. I agree. Thumbs up. Good
Bitch,
job.
Please.
Yeah, exactly.
Song number 12. Bitch, please. You must be smoking rock, real shit.
So it might be because this one upholds the same energy as the rest of the album, but it does not feel like the end of the record. There's not one song thus far that screams, hey, we're reaching the end. It's like when you get to the end, you're like, okay, cool. So, I mean, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but definitely notice that it kept up the intensity and the energy. I wish it didn't have that repetitive bass beat because some of the sounds here actually sound good when I can enjoy them, but I kind of felt like that sort of rattling bass sort of kind of covered up some of it. And it would have been nice to just have a little bit of a, I don't know, a little peek into the extra stuff that they put effort into putting in, you know?
Well, and I mean, this album definitely doesn't feel like it has like a good starter or ender, but like that's kind of okay because like, I mean, what I was saying earlier about the band, I mean, like they don't really give a shit. They're just going to make an album and just, they're not going to structure it one way or another. And I mean, I mentioned a long time ago, and I can't even remember what review, but I said like, it can work for certain bands to not do that. Like sometimes like typically when you listen to an album, like you want to have a good intro to the album. You want to have like a good closer that feels appropriate. But this one just like, this one's all over the place. This one just feels like another mixtape. So like, I'm fine with that. Yeah. I mean, even with one more song after this too, which, like we'll talk about it in a minute, but like that one really kind of blew the door open for me too. But back to this one though, like there was still a lot to appreciate about it, and I'm not even thinking about the end of the album at this point, regardless. I do like how the refrain was introduced in the beginning, and I like how playfully it's performed, as I kind of just did a second ago. I don't know. I thought it made it look like a little more memorable and fun. So I remember when I first heard the song, I wasn't too into it, but then it kind of grew on me after a while, and now I think it's pretty good.
Like a fungus. The chorus is moderately catchy and I like it. And I, again, don't know if this is like some sort of sample or programmed keyboard synth, but whatever that sitar type sound, I don't know if that's actually what it is. Yeah, I don't know. It sounded sitar-y. It was definitely a stringed instrument, but it was like, I don't want to say ethnic, but it sounded a little ethnic. I liked it. It was great. Sounded good. Nice.
I'd have to go back and pinpoint it then, because again, with like a billion samples in each song, I really got to know what the hell you're like, which specific layer you're talking about here.
Well, because I write my notes as I'm listening to the song, that was the last note, so I can only assume it was closer to the end of the song.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I do love the slower feel in this track, though. It's a great track to enjoy without like too much intensity from the previous track. So in a way, it feels like it's come down, although it still kind of has its own energy to it. So it's really good. And I think having this song under 3 minutes too kind of helped it overall. I couldn't imagine it going much longer than it was. So that's a good sign. It's only 2 minutes and 56 seconds, but yeah, like the majority of songs on this album, you don't really need to go that long. You get these ideas out pretty quickly. They sound pretty good how they are. Yeah. And I mean, just like, you don't want like a 6-minute Death Grip song, because like, how much can you repeat the same thing in 6 minutes before you're finally, like, even the most diehard fans are like, all right.
Yeah, we are done now. Yep.
Which said like no Death Grips fan ever, apparently. But speaking of long tracks, the longest track on the album just happens to be the final track on the album. Song number 13, 4 minutes and 36 seconds long, Hacker.
All right, so I'm just going to go through all of my notes and then let you have at it. My God, I am glad I made it to the end, because I like the beat of this track. I'm down for this. I really like the fast tempo. The overwhelming bass from earlier has found its place. The clean guitar, the what I call disco beat, because I have no idea how else to describe what it is, but it appeals to me and I like it. The vocals sound more melodic. I thought that 4.5 minutes was far too much of an undertaking when I started this album, but I found that I could listen to this song for another 2 or 3 choruses and that would be fine. So I am glad that we ended this album with something that I'm like, you know what? Totally would listen to that again.
As I said in the previous track, like this one kind of blew the door open for me, because here's the thing, like I've heard this album many times, but for some reason there's a couple of tracks on this album that I always tend to forget about, or just like forget what they sound like, and Hacker's always been one of them. And after listening to it again, I don't know how or why I could have forgotten, because like this song is fucking fun. Like this is so good. This is like the most electric dance beat on this entire album.
There's just so much going on. So
like if you like strange shit in a dance club, this one's for you. This is it. Like I really like this. I love the arpeggio type synth in the chorus, like the sequencing in the chorus. I think that's fucking awesome. It sounds great. I love its composition and tone. It's just a lot of fun overall. The chopper effect on the synth is super good through the verses too. I love that. Highly entertaining, just on top of the drum beat. So there's like a lot of energy at the end of this album, but it's not like that overwhelming chaotic energy. Like it's something that everyone can get behind. I feel like this one just really works for it.
Yeah, and you got the white girl on board, so
Oh, and a white girl dance. It's gonna be great.
Good job dancing like Elaine on off of Seinfeld.
We'll get you your 5th Michelob Ultra, and you can do really white girl dance all over the floor.
Cronenberg, thank you.
Oh, so much better. Oh, look at you, old lady. But yeah, the one thing I will point out too, as you kind of mentioned, was those kind of like clean guitars that you kind of hear every once in a while. Doesn't happen too many times. You don't really hear any guitar on this whole album as it is, especially being like just like this weird, quick, clean tone. Like it's like this occasional dual guitar, like 2 different layers that kind of bend in different directions, and I think that was an excellent touch. So it was just something to enjoy, and I just like the way they kind of threw it in. Like it almost feels like it wasn't supposed to be there, but my God, it fits.
Yeah.
And then my last one was just like, I honestly don't remember this song being so damn good.
Well, I really hope that it's your number one, because you're really, out of all of it, you're like, I'm talking the best out of this one. So
I've seen some pretty good things about the songs too. There's some ones that are pretty high up there.
This is now just going to become a thing. I'm going to guess that Hacker's your number one. So,
all right.
Yeah. I could see it in your eyes. Your eyes were twinkling.
No, that's just because my eyes are mirror blue, ocean blue. So whatever.
Oh.
You're seeing the waves of the water. It's my siren call.
Water I will drown you in.
My siren's call kind of sounds like, "Hey baby, come get some," and it's like, no.
A smoker's cough.
Well, while my siren goes on his 5-minute smoke break, we can actually finish the album. Now we have reached the end of Death Grips, The Money Store. So, hey, thank you very much for making it this far through the episode with us. What did you think about this album? As weird as it could be, is this your thing at all? Let us know down in the comments over on our social media. It doesn't really matter. We are curious to know your opinions on things. As per usual, always, there's comment sections everywhere. So find somewhere to tell us what you thought about this album.
Yeah.
And also, I guess while you're doing that, we can just immediately just kind of swing over, because without wasting too much time. Although I do forgot we tried to incorporate these quick little reviews now of the album, just like the 1-word type thing or 1-sentence type things. So overall, my impression of the album is it's aggressively fun that really turned hip hop on its head.
Okay, so I have more than just a couple of sentences. Mine makes more sense before I read the percentage, so I'm going to save mine until after I do my actual ranking of the songs.
That's fine, because
it is a novel.
Well, there you go then. Then I guess you can do that soon, because now we will rank the song. So above our head booms, graphics have changed our names. There are numbers as per usual, but there's supposed to be more names, song names specifically, because we need to rank songs. Worst to best, least favorite to favorite, however you want to look at it. That's what we got to do now. 26 altogether, 13 on each side.
And then we rate the record. The name of the podcast, Rate the Record.
That comes later. Can you hold on a minute? Jesus. Do you want to be a host? Go ahead, do it.
I don't know. Mute me.
Okay. So I've just muted her. So I'm going to just get this started then. So we will start with the song ranking, song number 13. I've Seen Footage.
No.
You had to unmute herself.
Oh no, double helix. Oh no.
To the audio listeners, I once again absolutely silenced her.
Yeah, well, whatever. That's fine.
Longest time I didn't even know I had that power. I can do whatever I want at this point. I'm like God in this Zoom call.
Try doing this on your own, and then next week you're like, yeah, I'm not doing it, and then you release one solo. I'm like, oh no.
Wait, I can do this too.
That's fine.
Just turn off her video.
to be quite honest, that's better for me. So
there we go. Perfect. Okay, let's continue on now.
Yes.
Song number 12, Punk Wait.
System Blower.
System Blower. System over. Dang, dang, dang. Okay, song number 11, Fuck That.
Fuck That. That's mine too.
Oh, cool. We got a match. We got the match. That one was next on my list, by the way. Number 10, Got.
Punk Wait.
Close. Punk Wait. Number 9, Double Helix.
Blackjack.
Blackjack gonna make a deal.
Something 21.
Number 8, Bitch Please.
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys. Number 7, The Fever, parentheses, AA.
The Cage.
Spite on my rage. Number 6, Hustle Bones.
Bitch, please.
You must be smoking rocks. Real shit. Bitch, please. Song number 5, The Cage.
The Fever. Les
Fever.
Fever.
The Cage, The Hive, The White Stripes, The I Can't See You. Sorry, I was just thinking about that Sum 41 video. The Sums. Song number 4, System Blower.
Which one is this one?
Song number 4, System Blower.
Number 4, Get Got.
All right, Bronze Medal time. Song number 3, Lost Boys.
Hustle Bones.
Hustle Bones.
I was really lagging on that last one, so the next 3 I'm just going to yell at you.
Well, I mean, you're going to get real happy in a minute because my number 2 just happens to be Blackjack.
I've seen footage.
Well, that means we have matching number 1s. Number 1.
Hacker. You know what? I'm a fucking genius.
Don't get a huge head.
What do you mean? It's been huge since the last time I did this.
Yeah, except for the part where you got everything wrong last time. So I'm not going to be nice about it anymore. You don't have to sing your own praises at this point.
No, that's fine. If I can guess your number 1, then that just proves to me that I pay attention to what you like. And I'm like, oh, this is something that he'd like. And for someone who doesn't pay attention to anything ever, very proud of myself that at least I could do this one thing.
You're lucky you didn't get too cocky. I had the cursor over the mute button again. All right. So we got 2 matches on that. Hey, that's more than we've gotten in a while. So celebrate that. Why not, right?
Woo! I'm excited.
So that was Fuck That and Hacker. All right, good choices. Anyways, now we can go ahead and rate the record as part 3 of the podcast. So let's just transition screens to it now. Swoosh. Alrighty then, here we are on the album rating screen. This is where we find ourselves at the end of the podcast, and we got a lot of albums, and most of them just so happen to be B-tier albums. So, I mean, there you go. And that includes last week's episode 2, episode 64, when we looked at Sloan's Twice Removed, found itself on the B tier as well.
Boo. Boo. B for boo.
You rated it as 74 or something. Boo.
Yeah.
I rated it 72. So, I mean, it deserves to be there, I guess.
Yes, of course. Now, I do want to read my my spiel about this record. While participating in this podcast, I have had the pleasure of listening to many albums that I wouldn't have heard otherwise. A lot of them I ended up liking. This turned out to not be one of them. I wanted to, I really did. As the record went on, I became more and more fatigued. I mean, with the exception of 2 tracks. I may have met my match when it comes to chaos and confusion. You win, Death Grips. Well, I mean, you don't win here because my score for the money store is 60.46.
Did this just break a record for the most diverse of album that we have? Holy shit.
Quite possibly, and it also might be one of my lowest rated. I'm sorry to everyone. I'm sorry to my parents for letting you down.
I think you even 60'd the Red Hot Chili Peppers or something along the lines of that.
Yeah, but Anthony Kiedis sounds like shit.
Well, I mean, hey, fair enough. And also, no, you have not met your match with Noise and Chaos. I will bring on the Locusts, and they will fucking just tear your shit up.
Oh, God.
I'll bring on Merzbow and just ruin your fucking life with all this noise and static.
Oh, my God. That's okay. We'll do 1989 by Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I bet. And I'll just tank that in spite of you.
Well, I get to listen to it.
You had 60.46%. Meanwhile, me on the other hand, obviously I chose the album and I mentioned that I liked it and everything like that. I found a lot more to enjoy. So mine's almost... No, that's the wrong math. I was going to say 2 times as much. That doesn't even make sense. But regardless, mine is up to 80.38%.
Wow.
I at least A-tiered it, so it's there. And that brings our total score to 70.42.
70.42. It is better than the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but Porcupine Tree couldn't knock it off its pedestal.
That's your fault, though.
That's fine. It's better than the Chili Peppers. I'll take that.
Hey,
it's funny that you said that too.
I mean, Porcupine Tree could have been better if you scored it better. Just saying.
No. Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yes. But when it comes to this album, it's 1 spot better.
Well, there you have it. I mean, it's another B-tier album, but I mean, goddamn, how absolutely like stretching opposites are we on this one? Jeez, A and C.
You know, sometimes when our actual track listing is completely opposite, I'm like, oh, like, you know, maybe our album rankings aren't going to match up very well. And they tend to stay relatively the same, even if we didn't like the same songs. But yeah, this one was, and we got a number one, and it was still completely. So
that's the trade-off, though. You get your number one match, and we get more than one match, but the albums are just gonna be like a fucking like absolute world apart.
Oh my god, it's like, which one do you want? I'm like, I don't know which one I want more.
You know, I'm fine with that, though. I mean, like, I knew this was gonna be a kind of a crazy choice, so it was going to go either way. Can't say I'm disappointed. I mean, obviously, it's not my favorite album of all time or anything like that, but I mean, like, I don't know. It was gonna like hit 60. Like that's low.
Yeah.
You could have Bob Dylan this thing. You could have fucking Weezered this thing, but at least you didn't do that.
No, and I won't reference this song to make fun of it in the future. So, I mean, yay! You're not on the shit list, at least.
Fantastic. Well, then, that does bring us to the end of the episode. Then we have done everything. We've discussed the album, we've ranked the songs, we've rated the records. So now, where are your rankings and ratings and opinions on this album? Please let us know down in the comments below, or even on any of our social medias at Rate the Record Podcast, Facebook and Instagram, all that kind of stuff. You know where to find us. We are there. And all of that, including the album request links, the album giveaway. Remember, we're giving away Promise of Selling the Caesar Cheese this month, and our Ko-fi link. Everything that you could possibly need is found at ratetherecord.ca.
I thought you said Caesar cheese. I'm like, ew.
What would that even be?
You said, I have no idea. It just sounds really gross.
Primus's Caesar cheese. Try it out. Why not? Tell me how it is. I like selling the Caesar cheese, but Caesar cheese, I don't know. You kind of got me on that one. Yeah, so this has been an interesting episode. So once again, thank you very much for joining us. And I can't even remember if I have to say anything else, because all I know is I'm going to be letting people go now, but the only thing we have to do is give a teaser for what to expect next week, because it's not like we're done, are we?
And next week is my choice. So next week we have an artist that has been in the spotlight since they were a child. They went solo after years in the family band and became quite successful on their own. And no, it is not Nick Jonas. Sorry.
Oh, but it's Nick Carter. We're doing the Backstreet Boys. Gotcha.
No, that wasn't a family band, though. I was thinking
they were like brothers. Okay, they were like brothers, and they still are because they're still touring.
The boys.
They're still touring, so I mean, might as well be.
I think it's like half NSYNC playing with half of Backstreet Boys or something.
I thought it was just all the Backstreet Boys were together.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep seeing on TikTok the bands intermingling, so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we're going to get a new Christmas album or something.
Backsync Boys. There you go. That works. Just minus JT because he's worth way too much fucking money.
Oh my God. Yeah, you probably wouldn't do it.
Well, anyways, I hope you're looking forward to the Backstreet Boys next week. We're not doing the Backstreet Boys, but I personally think that was a pretty obvious hint. But if you can't guess what it is, no worries. You're going to be seeing it next week anyways. So until then, when we do that episode, go listen to some awesome music like Death Grips. I think it's pretty awesome. And we'll see you again real soon. So take care, friends.
Bye-bye.